Oh, I got chocolate on my face. Oh no. Hi there. And hello to all you folks who may be watching from Contact in the Desert. Um, we're obviously not there. Maybe next year. We'll see how it goes. So we have a great guest on tonight, Sophia, and we're going to listen to a little bit of her music, and she's going to talk to us about her work and hopefully her experiences too, although she has recently suffered a great deal of ridicule online from people in her music groups who think this is all still a joke, I guess. And if you come forward and talk about your experiences, there's something wrong with you. Geez. Sophia, I know you're in the green room right now, but when you hear that bell, it's because somebody just did this. Thank you, Adam. My goodness. Anyway, I'm really getting tired of the ridicule. And, after all the years I've been through with this, including when I was a kid and I said I saw UFOs and being told what an idiot I was. Obviously, these people aren't paying attention. They're making fools of themselves. They're not watching the news. They're not paying any attention. They're not seeing what's been released. They haven't seen all these very high-ranking people coming forward and spilling their guts because they're as sick of it as I am, and as we all are, about the ridicule about something that is now very well documented. Guess what, people? Wake up. We're not alone. We never have been. It's absolute, as the gentleman said the other day. That was all over the internet. And he was amazing to watch. So we're going to try to get Danny Sheehan on the show. I just found out he's a subscriber to us, and it's actually a paid subscriber. I didn't even realize he had done this back in March. And so I wrote to him and I said, well, if you have time, would you like to be on our show? I would imagine he's at Contact in the Desert with everybody else. So I'm going to bring on Sophia, and we're going to talk about some of that really cool stuff. And my next film, which is called The Interview, which is being written right now, is about that very subject and how this person deals with it. And it's kind of like a Twilight Zone. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it has a lot of, I shouldn't use the word revenge. It has justice in it. Okay, let's bring Sophia on. Hi, Sophia.
Hi,
Welcome,
Steve.
welcome to Breaking the Silence. So,
Yeah, I was just saying hi to everyone in the chat. I'm so
no,
excited to be here.
I'm just looking at what are the comments, and it's this one. The mainstream is not getting info to them. It's well, it kind of is. I mean, mainstream media is paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah. They the shadow government, the people in control, the 1% with all the billions and trillions of dollars trying to destroy the world are the ones controlling the media. I know I sound like a nutcase, but it's actually true. This stuff really brings out the molder in me. Because we recently started rewatching the series from the very beginning, and God, it's see a
And,
lot of
and, and look at how mainstream portrays extraterrestrials. They've been creating that fear-based narrative from the very beginning. There are very few creative content pieces out there that actually portray them as they are, which as we know them to be benevolent. So it's all part of the matrix system. It's all been programmed for a very long time.
I'm sorry. One of my aliens disappeared. I just noticed. It used to be behind me, and now it's gone. I didn't know it was alive. No, it's true. It's just getting so old, and you know, I met this incredible actress, and I just said I've got to write a script around her, and this concept came out, and it really goes after this very problem. So it's long overdue. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to. I know you didn't want to, or at least you shared earlier on that you didn't want to talk too much about your experiences. But if you look at the people who are in here, you're in really good company. That
Yeah.
does not mean it does not mean that there aren't people out there. I'm being nice here that watch everything we do on YouTube, and we probably 99% of all our comments, the people that comment are very kind, very loving people who have these experiences, regardless of whether they are afraid of what's happening to them or are not afraid and open with it. Either way, they're very kind about the whole thing. No one tells each other, well, you're having good experiences and I'm having very bad experiences, so there's something wrong with you. None of that happens. And every once in a while, we get one person coming in there. You guys are all nuts. You need help. You this and that. Da da da. Or they come along and tell me to watch Sneezing Monkey because that particular person on YouTube and his channel has successfully debunked all of this stuff. That there's all the UFO sightings, everything. There's no truth to any of it. Well, that just tells me one thing: that person hasn't researched the subject at all, because there are mountains and mountains of hard evidence to support this is going on. So, so will you talk a little bit about it? Yeah, this is for you.
Absolutely. I know that we are in good company. I'm keeping an eye on the comments. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to try to share my experiences in a way that doesn't turn into a novella, because I can get like lost in a rabbit hole of it all. But I will start by saying that I've known that I was not of Earth since I was a child. I remember being really, really young and observing the humans around me almost scientifically and feeling trapped in my child body, because my wisdom and my awareness and my connection to source was so beyond what my physical ability at that time was able to express. And once I was able to start articulating my thoughts and my feelings about it, I would share with my parents, like, I would point to the sky and tell them that I was from there and that I was just visiting and that they were my Earth family, but not my star family. And I was lucky to be born into a family with parents who nourished that and just created reality around my reality rather than ostracizing me, which I know many people don't have that luxury. And I'm so grateful that I chose that tribe to incarnate with. It wasn't until I started going to public school that I realized I had to keep it a secret if I wanted to fit in. I was teased. I was definitely the black sheep. And I remember at a very young age making that decision of I'm either going to be the outcast through this experience or I'm going to lock my memories in a closet and try to fit in. And, you know, as you are as a young kid, you just want to fit in. And so I did the latter. And I stored all the memories, all my connection to my guides, and just shoved it away. And the more that I started to fit in, the more that I shoved it further away and realized, oh, I can play this part. I can be human. I can be normal. And I went from having an infinite connection to other realms to desperately wanting to be normal, desperately wanting to fit in. And so through my adolescence, especially through teenagehood, I became more and more and more ingrained in the matrix and lost more and more and more of my connection and my memories. And I wanted the opposite of that. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a businesswoman. I wanted to fit into the matrix so badly because I never really did. And so I went to school for law, and it wasn't until after I graduated college, the summer after I graduated, I had plans to work for a hotshot investment firm and get my law degree. And that's when I had my first tangible contact experience. And that changed the whole trajectory of my life and brought me to where I am now. So I'll share that experience with you and then take you to where I am now.
Sure.
I was in the middle of my room, in the middle of daylight, completely sober, which I know our community gets a lot of backlash for, oh, you must have been on drugs, you must have been. But I actually can only have these experiences when I'm sober. I intentionally don't do drugs so that I can keep this connection pure. So I was totally sober. I was in my bedroom. It was broad daylight afternoon. And right in front of me materialized a very large blue being. And it's hard to explain, but I'm sure people in this group can resonate that it had a physical essence, a physical appearance. Like I could make out the features, but it was an energy. It was not purely physical. And he identified as a male, even though I've learned through my contact experiences since then that they don't necessarily have a gender, but they'll take form or they'll take a gender so that it's easier for our mind and our human brain to articulate. So he identified as a male, and he started transmuting information and images almost like a movie projection screen, and I could feel it going into my third eye. And he wasn't speaking, but he was totally speaking. It was like a fully telepathic experience. And the overall message that came through was that I was here for Gaia. I had a legion of beings, him included, that were always around me, and that my life path was about to drastically change and to not be in a place of fear and to trust in my heart and to trust in my intuition. And that if I ever felt alone or abandoned, I could call on them. All I had to do was ask for their help. All I had to do was recognize that we've always been connected. And that experience, as I said, changed everything else. 2 weeks later, I got offered an opportunity to move to LA. Mind you, I was on the East Coast living that East Coast suburban lifestyle.
Mm.
I spontaneously got an opportunity to move to LA and work for a record company. And then I got cast in a movie. And all of a sudden, I was being presented with all these wild opportunities that had nothing to do with what I had spent the first half of my life developing, right? Because I was summa cum laude, business, corporate, white picket fence, working for the man. And now all of a sudden I had these creative opportunities. And at first I was like, what the heck? Like I'm not a creative person. But then it was like that message of listening to my heart and following my intuition came through, and I started realizing, wait, all of this was a lie. All of that I had spent my whole adolescence and young adult chasing was the illusion. The truth was this. The truth was my creativity. The truth was my dharma. The truth was my connection.
Yes.
And as I started listening to that more and more and more, and let that be the voice that guided me rather than the chitta noise of society, I just went with the flow of my life, and I moved to LA. I shocked all my friends and family besides my parents. My parents were like, "We were waiting for this. Like you've been a star child your whole life, and we were just waiting for you to figure it out and for you to remember." And but all my friends were like, "Oh, she's moving to LA to go to the entertainment industry." Like, okay, like I instantly became the joke, but it
Yeah, I
didn't.
did too.
Yeah,
In
but it didn't.
1973, when I came to LA, my family said, "Don't you have to be talented to get into that industry?"
Yeah, isn't that such a
Nice,
shame?
nice family, nice people. Gotta love it.
Gotta
I
love it.
sure showed them though.
Yeah, you did, right? You're an icon. You're a legend. So, and I'm like I said, I'm grateful. I never, my family has always, always only been supportive. It was
You're
just
very lucky.
it was the outside world. I know how lucky I
Yeah.
am. Oh my goodness. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I would be sitting here right now, because I have gone through deep phases of being suicidal, which I'll talk about in a minute. But
Mm.
that first contact experience, so I want to bottle that up. I didn't have another contact experience until my late 20s. So there was like a 7 to 8 year gap between my experiences, which could make one feel crazy, right? Could make one feel, well, I must have just had a hallucination. That wasn't real,
Mhm.
But I went through
Mhm.
extensive evaluations, psych evaluations, because I was like, I need to make sure this isn't in my head. And I checked out every single test, right? And all my therapists, everyone were like, no, you're perfectly normal. Nothing is wrong with you. You're not schizophrenic. You're not bipolar. You don't have any of the things that would tell us you're making this up. And so I just trusted my heart. I trusted the feeling. And I trusted more specifically the feeling in my solar plexus, which I'm sure we all know. You get that clench when something's not right.
Mhm. Mhm.
So every time I went down the path of, oh, I'm crazy. Oh, something's wrong with me. I need help. I would get that clench. And that would tell me it's an illusion. That's a story that I'm allowing society to create for me. And so I started becoming vocal about my experiences in my late 20s once they started again. And that's when I was like, this is real. I know it's real. I remember my heritage. I remember my family. And the being that had first appeared to me, he identifies as Ardano. He gave me the name of Ardano. And he started appearing again and taught me a method of astral projection. And through that method, through meditation, I was then able to start visiting Arcturus, which was revealed to me was that's where my soul pod is from. My star family is from Arcturus. And he was Arcturian. And I got to meet my Arcturian mother. And that feeling was what I'm sure some people would compare to being on Molly or whatever. Drugs make your heart feel infinite, but that is the feeling that I had. And that feeling is what locked everything in for me. Of never again did I doubt myself. Never again did I doubt my memories. Did I question my sanity? I knew it was real. And so I started having these amazing experiences and being vocal about it online. And that's when the haters came in real strong, real strong. And
They're
so
just afraid.
I know. And I'm able to see that now, but even in my 20s, I was still battling the ego, right? And I still am. I don't know if we ever don't battle our ego through this human life, but I was still so trapped by it that I wasn't strong enough energetically to handle the backlash. And so I shut down and I pulled out and I stopped posting and I went into hibernation for a year and a half. And in that year and a half, I started experiencing such incredible contact and downloads from my Arcturian guides. They started giving me music. They started giving me star codes in the form of melodies and giving me specific healing frequencies to put into these melodies and messages to put into these melodies, with the confirmation that music would be how I could get these resonances out there the fastest and the easiest and the most non-invasive. So I started releasing this new music, which I'm calling cosmic pop. About 3 weeks ago, I released my first song called Alien Being Human, which we'll listen to. And then I released my second song today. It just came out. It's called Starseed. And upon releasing Alien Being Human, that PTSD came back in, because now all of a sudden I've got thousands of people hounding me online, calling me schizo, calling me a drug addict, saying I'm on meth, saying I'm this, saying I should kill myself. Like I wake up every day to dozens of people encouraging me to take my life. And
Well, only crazy people do that. Actual crazy people, people who are not well. Isn't
yeah,
it interesting?
that's
Yet
sad.
we're the ones that are considered not well.
Mhm.
Sit here
Mhm.
calmly,
Mhm.
speaking to one another.
Mhm. And I mean, this process has, even though it initially triggered me into that mode again of, oh, I have to hide, I have to dim my light. It was a really good reckoning of the soul for me to see that my mission and this music matters to me 1,000 times more than those people's opinions. And if anything, I have so much compassion and love for them. And every time they send me a hate comment, I visualize love back to them, opening their heart, opening their mind, because I can't imagine being caught in the matrix. I can't imagine being caught in a reality where you can't see beyond the 3D. Like, what a sad life that must be. What an empty life that must be. And so it's helped me to transform my fear and my insecurity into compassion for them.
Yeah, that's what we have to have, as hard as it is to do. I mean, these people, and they're in the millions and millions and millions, have no idea where they are. They just think they're on a piece of dirt.
Mhm.
It's two dimensions. They have no idea what they're surrounded by every second. Millions and billions of stars, as Carl Sagan would say. And, they won't even acknowledge it. That scares them to death, to
Mhm.
think outside the earth.
Mhm.
And
Well,
we are outside the earth. I mean, we're not just physical, we are spiritual beings. They
Mhm.
don't know that. They
Mhm.
think they're physical. When they're a brain, when they're dead, they're dead. That's it.
Yeah. That's it.
So, hearing these things, first of all, they can't get their minds around. And secondly, if they do, it scares them. I know my late wife, whenever I talked about these things, was so frightened by it. If
Mhm.
we'd be out under the stars with the telescopes up at high elevation, it was frightening to her when I would point out the arm of our galaxy that we are on, and that hot glow you see in the middle of Sagittarius is the center of our galaxy. When she got that perspective, and the other people got that perspective of the immensity of all that,
Mhm.
they just like, oh my God, I can't think about it. I got to get back to getting to work and being in my box. And where's the
Mhm.
blue pill? Give it to me now.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
Right.
I used to be so passionate about, it's my mission to wake them up, and what I've learned is that's not actually true. It's not actually anybody's mission to wake anybody up, because everybody's soul is on their own karmic evolution. And maybe it's not meant for them to have these perspectives in this lifetime. And if
Yeah.
it is, then they have to learn that themselves. It's not up to me or you or anybody else to change their karmic path. So that's given me a lot of peace.
So are you Buddhist? Because you've used expressions like karmic and dharma and
I'm not Buddhist. I resonate with Buddhism. I resonate with multiple sectors. I
Mhm.
view religion and spirituality as a universal truth because
Right,
there's overlapping truth in all of it. And so
right.
I try not to identify with any one thing. What I've learned through my counsel is that it's actually best for me to stay in a certain zone of naivety, and naivety is not the right word, but keeping my mind open to universal downloads in the Akashic record and the quantum field
Mhm,
rather than taking my truth from a testament or a book
mhm.
or a scripture. And so I educate myself in understanding the different principles and the different religions and the different spiritual paths, but I don't cling to one or identify with one.
Buddhism is probably the only one that isn't a religion.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't. So
No, I would say if I had to say, "Oh, I'm this," it would be Buddhist. But I don't know.
sure.
I haven't figured out like an appropriate title for what I believe yet.
Do you
I
meditate?
I do. Yeah. Oh,
Good.
it's a critical part of my day. It's how I start my day. Before I check my phone, before I do anything, before I even go pee, I get to my meditation altar.
I I have to pee before Buddhism. Maybe it's my age, but we do it every morning. I
No,
mean,
I
not
know.
Buddhism, but
I know.
our Buddhist practices, which is meditation and yoga every morning. So
Yep. Yep.
even
And
on Saturdays, sometimes.
yeah, right? Even on the days off. I've learned that, if I skip it, which is so easy to skip, right? I don't remember who said this, but it was like, "The path from your bed to your meditation altar is the longest journey there is."
Hmm.
And I resonate with that so much because I have so many mornings, especially when I struggle with insomnia, when I don't wanna go to my altar, when I don't wanna do that. I wanna start my day, I wanna get my coffee, I wanna go on with things, but I force myself to meditate because if I don't, my
It's your
day is
connection.
lost.
It's
Yeah,
your connection.
it's my
It really
connection.
is.
Exactly.
Um, should we let me know when you want me to play that piece you sent me. So
Sure. We can take an interlude to play that now for everybody,
okay.
and, but you
I also enjoyed the one where I also enjoyed that one. I know you want me to run this one, but the one where you have overlapped
oh,
an alien being over you as you're dancing, which is
yeah,
it's like your other self. That was really cool. So,
you
but let
can
me see if I can do this without messing up. So, because I'm used to having the actual video right here on my hard drive and I play it from there, but I did notice that we have the screen share here, and if I'm correct, and I don't mess up, we should be able to do that. So, share, play.
so you only have to play it through the first 2 songs. We don't need to take up too much time.
Okay, see if I can get it to go full screen.
Alien being human. One of the only reasons I agreed to do this was love. I wanted to feel love in the universe when the earth became one. But now that I'm here, it's clear everybody only loves to fear themselves, and thus they fear everything else. If I would report to the mothership, I'd say humanity has lost its balance, masculine at war with the feminine. But God got his words never separate. If I would report to the mothership, I'd say humanity is looking for enlightenment. But every time they see the light devices come and ruin it, you know it's hard with these human bad habits. Yeah, it's hard being an alien, being a human. It's hard being an alien, being a human. But remember who you are, you're from the stars. And the only way to activate is through the heart. Yeah, remember who you are, you're from the stars. And the only way to activate is through the heart. It's hard being an alien, being a human. only way to activate is through the heart. I've been a legend in my own mind pretty much my whole life. I've been building better paradigms while everybody sleeps at night. Chances are you're gonna call me crazy, baby. That's alright. I'm a star seed on a different frequency, and you still see in black and white. I may be way too much for some, but I didn't come to Earth for your approval. That's dumb. I'm here on a mission, I'm gonna see it through. So how about I do me, you do you, and we just be cool? Can we all just be cool? I'm a star seed, I'm a star seed. You can judge me, but you're exactly like me. We all come from a unified energy. I'm a star seed, I'm a star seed. We're all star seeds. We're all star seeds. It's almost done. Oh, it's not done yet. There's like I've been mapping out the timelines, trying to decide when to align with the highest vibe. Kind of feeling like I figured out the secret, and you're just jealous cause you think I'm gonna keep it. But don't you know that what's mine is yours? There's plenty of happiness to go around and more. I may be way too much for some, but I didn't come to Earth for your approval. That's dumb. I'm here on a mission, I'm gonna see it through. So how about I do me, you do you, and we just be cool? Can we all just be cool? I'm a star seed, I'm a star seed. You can judge me, but you're exactly like me. We all come from a unified energy. I'm a star seed, I'm a star seed. We're all star seeds. We're all star seeds. We're all star seeds. We're all star seeds. Yeah. It goes on. You can, everybody in the chat, I made a whole visual starseed activation for my new EP, but I just told Steve to play the first two songs.
There we go. Wow, true words. And you write the songs, you perform the songs, you do the instrumentals as well, and so you're a one person.
Yeah, so I write everything, I sing everything,
and the visuals,
and I do all the visuals. And then, but I do have a co-producing partner. So our process is I will create the song, and then when I feel like it's at a place where the entity has been born, I hand it over to him, and he kind of gives it a facelift. He mixes it and masters it and brings it to a whole new dimension of sound. So we have a really magical synergy where it's effortless. He's on the same mission. Somebody asked me in the comments what my mission was, and my mission is to, specifically now with music, use this music in the pop pop music formula, but embedded with universal truth, embedded with cosmic activation, embedded with starseed lineage, so that the average person who might not resonate with ETs, but likes a good song that they can bump in their car or while they're getting ready,
Hmm.
they'll subconsciously be receiving those messages and those truths. So it's it's my way of infiltrating the matrix, essentially. And that's my mission right now, is to do everything in my power using my gifts and my creativity and my connection to source to deliver tangible creations that anyone and everyone can receive.
Oh, Brian's asking if you have a YouTube channel, and in fact, yes. And
Yes.
I have them all right here. That's Facebook. And there we are. Boom, there it is.
Boom. I'm
And
on all platforms as I am Sophia_music. And then you can find me on all music streaming platforms as I am Sophia.
so what I find interesting is a large percentage of people who have these experiences or have this in their life. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Are artists,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot of the ridicule sometimes comes from people saying, "Well, if you're an artist and you're doing art about this or music or movies, then you don't have any credibility."
Mm-hmm.
I've never understood that,
Mm-hmm.
except that again, these people are broken and they don't understand what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing art in this subject since the 70s.
Yeah.
Before that, I was just doing space art, because I was obsessed with space and anything that had to do with it, astronomy, stars, UFOs, didn't matter what it was. I was always doing art about space.
Mm.
So, and then I discovered my own experience and
Mm.
did
But
so much gray alien art that it became cultural.
that's interesting that that was coming through. Um, to me, it makes sense that those who don't understand this are not creative, because I think it takes a certain capacity in your brain, in the same way that our imagination is able to create.
Thank you,
Yay!
Kimberly.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Kimberly. I hate interrupting with the bells. I'm trying to be real,
No,
okay. Thank you,
I
Kimberly.
teared up when I saw Adam earlier. I was like, it just like made me so happy that this community is so supportive.
He is building a website for us, a traditional not website, a forum, an old style forum where people can have, they can put up a post and talk about their experiences and have imagery wherever they want there. And unlike Facebook and other platforms, when you go back to find it, you find it, and
Wow.
it's continual. Whereas Facebook and the other ones are not. You go back and you go, what happened to that post? You got to scroll down so far, and then in order to talk about it again, thank you, Pancho. In order to talk about that post again, you have to regurgitate it to the top and then add to it, and then people will say, well, what are you talking about? So he's working on a forum for breaking the silence where we can all go in safety.
Mm.
Yeah, it's got a special put the trolls out the airlock into the into cold space feature.
Love it. Someone just told me, I don't know if anyone in this community is familiar with Jonathan Goldman, but he's one of us, and he's an incredible sound healer and musician. And I was just hanging out with him the other week, and he was telling me, because I was telling him how I'm getting all of these hateful responses online. And he was saying that his friend is developing an AI program that will automatically cipher out all the negativity and only.
Wow, now there's a really good use for AI. That's
Right?
probably the best one I've heard. Yeah.
I know. And I was like, tell me as soon as it's done. Like, I want it.
Yeah. Well, for right now, we have Mary and me occasionally when I see stuff. I mean, I have been told you are never to remove a post, a comment in YouTube. That's very bad to do that, and you should allow people to have their say. Then they go on as far as saying it's a free country and you're enforcing censorship. And No, it has nothing to do with the country or your constitutional rights. This is our front living room. This is our place. And if you're going to come in here and say nasty, hateful things, we're going to remove your comment. If you do it again, we're going to remove you, and you won't be able to see the channel anymore.
Mm,
And
mm.
that's what I've been doing. Rachel,
Yay,
thank you so
Rachel.
much. Thank you. Thank you. Um, let's see.
I want to say one thing about the
Yes.
haters. So I'm getting the backlash is coming to me on Instagram. And what's been so interesting with this experience is their hate is actually only benefiting me because they're sharing it thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and though they're sharing it to make fun of me, it's getting in front of the people that resonate with me. And so it's
It's
one of
drawing attention to your mission.
Mhm. And I'm finding and the star seeds and the extraterrestrials and those who resonate so deeply with this path are finding me because all of the haters are perpetuating the algorithm, which I find is so ironic. Yay, thank you,
Ann
Anne.
Carter, thank you so much, Ann. We love you.
So it's just interesting. Now I'm like, thank you. I love you. You hate me, I love you. You hate me, I
Yeah.
love you.
And
So,
they hate that too,
oh,
but
I know. But
it's got
I
to stop.
I have had some of them reach out to me because I've been so kind and I've not backlashed to them.
Right.
Some of them have reached out to me and said, "Hey, low key, I'm really sorry. I listened to your music and I actually love it, and I'm a fan now."
Mhm.
And so it's showing me the importance of radical kindness, being
Right.
radically kind.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mary often, there are certain levels that people reach when they make comments, and some of them are not necessarily derogatory, but they actually ask a very good question that really shows that they don't understand what's going on. And so Mary will give them a chance, and she'll write back to them and respond. And because they're expecting you to be angry at them, and they don't get that, which is just what you said. They kind of back down. Oh, so you're not going to be a jerk to me, and you're just talking to me like a human being. They
Mhm,
open up,
mhm,
and that's happened much more than it hasn't. And then we
mhm.
have the people that are they're just they're just not
They're just
there.
looking to fight.
Yeah, you just can't. It's
Yeah,
never going to work. So yeah, so out they go because of the things they say is so bad. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and those are the people that I send extra love to because imagine how hurt you have to be. I'll tell you,
yeah,
there's this one person who kept telling me to kill myself, right? In all my comments, he was like, "Kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself." And so I responded and I was like, "Would you really be okay with yourself if you knew that another person took their life because of a comment you wrote?" And I was thinking I could reason with him. And he responded and he's like, "I'm planning a party for when you kill yourself."
yeah.
And it showed
And the
me
truth is, he'll probably kill himself.
I know, and that's why it's like it's so sad because you have to be so hurt in yourself. Yay, Kimberly.
Really, thank you. Lots of love to all of you that are being so supportive of this channel. It's
And that's what's so amazing about our community
amazing.
is I'm getting a lot of hate, right? But I'm also getting love from the people who resonate, and that like I find that people in our community are so loving because we're so used to being ostracized that when
Mhm.
we find each other, we're like, "You!" Like we've known each other. We've come to Earth together. Like,
Mhm.
this isn't our first rodeo. Hello. So,
Yeah, and the poor people that they just they don't have that.
I
I feel
know.
feel bad. It's just something went wrong somewhere. So
Yeah.
again, Kimberly, thank you.
Yeah, that's so sweet that everyone I'm so enjoying reading all of these comments and if any of you resonated with that music, please check me out on Spotify or any of the music streaming
Yeah,
platforms.
we have that I have them it's under banners, and
Cool.
there's Spotify.
Yay. And I'm performing at Disclosure Fest if anybody's coming to that in a few
Oh,
weeks.
and where is Disclosure Fest?
This year it's at Lake Castaic, which is near
Like Castaic?
Castaic, yeah.
That's not too far from here, is it? I
No,
mean,
no, it's like an hour from us. And it's a
right.
3-day ET spiritual festival, and I'm performing on the main stage. It's going to be really fun.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one, and I know we're doing one June 21st for 3 days in at the Glen Tavern in Santa Paula.
Whoa, what is that one called? Yay, Judy. She sent a super sticker.
Oh, Judy, thank you. Where are you? Why am I not seeing this? Oh, because I'm not in chat because I put up a banner. Thank you, Judy. There you are. Thank you so much. Another bell for you.
Yay.
You notice the bell?
I can't really see it. Oh, is that your? Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
So
it's got stars on it and all kinds of stuff. It's really pretty.
I love that. I've got my crystal ball here.
Oh, okay. You know, a lot of these people see us as weak, and really they've got it backwards, because the people who are throwing stones at us, they're the ones that are weak. We're very strong because we have love, and love is the strongest force in the universe. And if you don't have love, then you know, then that's a real crying shame. So
yeah. Also, it's like, everything is just a projection of your inner psyche. So them hating me and them calling me all these names, deep down, that's how they feel about themselves.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. A lot of them suggesting that you should kill yourself, really kind of so miserable. They're thinking, well, if I was like you, and I would want to kill myself, and they probably do have suicidal thoughts themselves. I don't know. But the Santa Paula event, Mary, do we? I can't remember the name of it. It's paranormal meets UFOs.
Meets ghost hunters.
Paranormal meets ghost hunters and UFOs. Because Yvonne Smith is going to be there. I'm going to be speaking there, and everyone's invited to come. They're selling tickets on what is that events or one of those. I should have the link here. I'll put it up tomorrow.
That's going to be a very powerful weekend. It's summer solstice. It's also a full moon.
Yeah, and the place is hideously haunted.
And that's also the same weekend as Disclosure Fest. So there's just a lot of activations happening.
June 21st, 22nd is Disclosure Fest. Oh, so we won't see you there.
No. But we'll all be tuning into the same frequency.
Or Mark. Is Mark going to go to that too?
He's supposed to, but I'm not sure.
But yeah, we know. Yeah, we know.
So
he's got his hands full.
Yeah. But I performed at Disclosure Fest in November. It was in Vegas at that time, because they intentionally did it in Vegas because they wanted to transmute the grid systems there because it's so dark. And it was just incredible. It was my first experience of really feeling like I was performing for my family, like my core family. And now that's all I want to do. I'm like,
I would imagine you do a lot of visual on stage.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
How do I make the visual?
Yeah. How do you? I'm just curious. I mean,
sure.
Gabriel, when he was with Genesis, used to do some great stuff.
So for all my visuals, the video included that everyone just saw. What I do is a very meticulous collaboration process with AI. So I will spend hours creating images on Midjourney and programming Midjourney to bring to life the esoteric and the conscious visuals that I want. And I'm talking like thousands of pictures, because the thing about AI is it's not going to give you what you want right off the bat. I'm sure you know. It's a training process. And so I'll spend hours working with it, training with it, talking to it to create the images that I want. And then I use another program called Kyber. And I take those images and I turn them into generative video. And again, that's another trial and error process, because 9 times out of 10, the image that I'm giving it, they'll create like a totally different video. Like I'll give it an image of a female Arcturian and it will turn it into like a male gnome or like something so random. I'm like, how did you create that? So it's literally thousands of trial and errors. And then once I've got the 300 videos that I like the best, I then take my favorite 3 to 5 seconds from those videos and I stream them together into a visual experience through Premiere Pro. So that's how I create all my visuals. It's a very long collaborative process with AI.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Because I've struggled with it, which is why most of the time, all the visuals you see in our shows are all done by me using CGI.
Yeah, you're next level. I actually want to hire you to make some stuff for me because you blow anyone I've seen out of the water. Like
it's all actually built and made by me. You know,
I know that's so crazy. I mean, crazy in a good way. Like,
yeah, well,
you're a master. You are.
I've been doing it for a long time, and professionally for film and television. So I'm cheating.
Well, you're not cheating. You're so good. And I want to, because the ET that I've been able to create is very much, as you saw in my video, very much resonance of a gray. And my connection and my beings that I communicate with all the time are the Arcturians. And so at another time, I want to chat with you about like maybe hiring you to help me create an Arcturian model.
I see.
So that it's more representative of the beings that I see.
Oh, Ann Carter's. Oh, Sophia. Oh, we're getting questions.
Oh, okay. I'm looking. I just see, how do you identify
You
where
can see it on the screen too. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my short answer to that is I'm from everywhere. I believe that we've all lived many different lives in many different galaxies in many different dimensions. But I
would agree with that.
I most specifically identify with like my source soul pod being Arcturus and being Arcturian. And that's just been through the experiences and the continuous contact I've had with them.
I've heard other people talk about that too, and I don't know a whole lot about the Arcturians I know of Arcturus because being an amateur astronomer, it's very visible to the naked eye, especially during summer. And I remember we use that as a way to find a direction to some of the other objects that are out there, nebulas and galaxies and things that we used to look at through our telescopes, which I love doing. So, and we've got we're getting questions here.
Do I use 432? Yes, I use 432. I use 528 in all of my songs, those 2 frequencies. And then what else? The other frequencies I use are I'm a huge fan of tuning forks and crystal bowls. So what I do is I record all of the frequencies from my tuning forks and my crystal bowls in the studio. And then it's the coolest process. I will pull up the song that I just made and I will test each frequency that I recorded with the song to see which ones are in tune. And then I'll embed the ones that are in tune. And what's so cool about it is that the frequencies that correlate and are in tune with the songs directly match the message of the song. So what I mean by that is, like one of the songs I just did is about grappling with the 3-dimensional human experience. It's called Lifeline. It's like, I just really need a lifeline. And the frequency that was in perfect tune with that was the solar plexus, which is the feeling that I get when I'm like, I need a lifeline. I'm in survival mode. I'm in flight or fight, And so it's the coolest thing to see, like, there are no accidents. Everything is synchronistic.
I suppose it is. Yes, and I like the bowls too, and the brass ones. There's just something about the sound from them when they're done correctly, and there's this. It just puts me at such peace, and it puts me into a really deep meditative state, and I feel like I'm resonating with everything around me. We are always, but I mean, there's something about the sound, the vibration that they make that is just incredible. I
Yeah.
can't get enough of it.
And one thing I'll backpack off of that real quick is this whole experience I'm getting online has actually been a really interesting social experiment of
Mhm.
my theory is that a lot of these people are actually reacting to the frequencies that I put in the songs. Because if you shine a light in a dark cave of bats, they're going to freak out.
Yeah.
So I'm actually like, it's so interesting because people either are obsessed with the music or they hate it. And so I'm like, maybe the people that resonate and love it are the ones that are used to feeling those frequencies and feeling those vibrations. And the ones that are not are like, they're tweaking because they're not used to it.
It's interesting what they focus in on because we get a little bit of this with our show, and we get people like one guy put a comment. They get obsessed with something, and then they can't focus on what the person's saying or follow the story. And one of the one that really got me this morning was this one guy who said, he says, "It's just me, or does anyone else? I can't even begin to focus in on what this guy is saying because of that large hair on his ear. Because in close-ups, the way the lighting was, you could see he had some. He's an older gentleman, a very good friend of mine, Jim Lowe, and you could see one of the hairs there. Maybe it was a hair coming from behind his head, from his head coming out. It looked like an ear hair, but he was obsessed with that. He focused in on that and missed everything the guy was talking about when Jim has a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is that they will become so angry, and they get angry because of the background music. And I've been a professional editor and filmmaker for years, and some people just get bent out of shape because of the music. They don't want it in there at all. They just want you to be no music. You just talk, no visuals. Just let the person talk. That's all they want. And they're 1% out of 100.
Yeah.
So, and they get obsessed
Mm-hmm.
and they get angry, just like you're describing. So I'm not
It's
sure what that's all about.
selective perception, right? And that shows you the limited scope of their reality.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't get it. I mean, but how could I? Because I just, day one, I go outside and I can't get my eyes off the stars and the forests and everything that lived around me. And
No.
and the kids back then were saying, "You're weirdo." What? Because I like the forest and the animals and everything that lives and breathes and the stars at night. Yeah, you're weird.
Mm-hmm.
You should be playing football or baseball and acting like the other kids. Fit in, and I never did.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was different. And I knew I wasn't from here. Too.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And that was in the 1950s.
Yeah.
No.
It's because of people like you that have paved the way for people like me.
Yeah, I guess.
I am so grateful because even though I'm having a tough time currently, I
Yeah.
know my path has been a lot easier because of people like you who have come out and paved the way. And with that, I feel a strong part of my mission in this music is for the children that are coming through now because they are ascended masters. They are high divine souls. And they don't have music for them, right? They don't have media for them. And so it's been so amazing because I'm getting a lot of moms actually reaching out to me saying, my 4-year-old who's been talking about other planets since she was born is obsessed with your music and finally feels like she has a song that she can relate to. And so I'm like, I'm making this music for our future generations so that kids don't have that experience, right? Of being ostracized and crazy and weird and all of that. And I did see a question earlier. I just wanted to address it so they don't think I was ignoring them. Are Arcturians concerned about war on Earth? This is a great question, and it's one that I get a lot about extraterrestrials in general and the benevolent beings. Because the haters, their response is like, if these beings were benevolent, then they wouldn't be allowing this stuff to happen on the planet, right? And it's because they don't understand the concept of free will. And planet Earth was, in my perspective, created with the doctrine of free will. And so these beings behind closed doors are doing a lot to help us, but they can't land a big mothership and be like, no more war, because
No, everybody will freak out and start shooting at them. I mean, come
yeah,
on.
exactly. It would
You
cause
know,
it would cause
the philosophy of the human being that type we're talking about is this old expression my friend Dave used to say: shoot them down. Let's see if they're friendly.
yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the philosophy. But we also know that many more people who don't have the guns and don't have the money don't have that philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
And
communicate with it. Let's not kill that spider because it's crawling on my wall. Let's help it. Let's get it out of the house. It's outside where it should be. Uh, we just don't have a knee jerk reaction and kill it.
right,
And
I'm the same. Because the spider is me, right? And we are the spider. I was
yeah,
just on a hike yesterday filming some content for my music, and we came across a tarantula in the path, and I was like, let's put it in the video. And so I like squatted down and I was like dancing with the tarantula because it's me and I am it. Um
right.
and then the
And
last
they're
thing
harmless.
about
Too.
war really quick is, yes, the Arcturians and all of the benevolent beings are obviously concerned about what is going on, but the message that I keep getting, because I keep tuning in to be like, what the fuck, like children are dying, like
Yeah.
do something. And what they keep reflecting back to me is, we're only seeing a limited version of the greater picture, and everything really does happen as it should, and we are going through the motions, and even though it is difficult and it is awful and horrendous in this 3D perception, there is greater plays at work.
No, Pancho, we're going to be our own saviors. The comment on the screen from Rachel says, that reminds me, Steve, I loved watching Spaceman, the Spaceman with
Kevin Spacey?
no,
Oh, no, that was
Adam
the
Sandler.
yeah. Oh, I've
It
never
was,
seen
it
that.
was a film, and you haven't seen the film,
The one
and
on Netflix. No, I haven't seen it.
it is incredible. It's nothing. It's not. Everybody's so surprised, including myself, when I saw it. It was not what I thought it was going to be,
Okay.
and it shows a lot of depth to Adam that I didn't know was there. He obviously really wanted to do this film. This film was done in Europe, and it's incredible. I mean, just even thinking about it chokes me up. It was so well done. It was such an important movie with an important message
Mm, I'll have to
of
check it out.
how humans and another form of life and also intelligent in the universe could come to terms and commingle and learn to love each other. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. So, and
Mhm.
if you guys haven't watched it, I can't recommend it enough. It's on Netflix. Even if you don't like Adam Sandler, some people don't, said there's two strikes against it, Steve. And I said, what are those, to my friend? And he says, Adam Sandler and spiders, not for me.
Mm,
That's very judgmental, but there
mhm,
it is, right?
mhm. Again, limited perspective, limited reality.
Yeah, yeah. We react to something that doesn't look like us. Knee jerkers kill spider usually are timid huntsmen. Timid hunts. You're talking about the huntsman spider, the shoe or sole. Well, I would plead, no, leave it.
Mm.
Yeah, well, yeah. Huntsmen are pretty harmless too. They're not. They don't jump on human beings and attack them. They are good at actually hunting mice. That's how big they are. And I've
Wow.
seen videos on YouTube of the huntsman on the counter in a guy's kitchen. And he's saying, "I don't believe what I'm seeing," and it's got this mouse and it's pulling it up. I mean, maybe it wasn't a mouse, maybe it was a rat. It was pretty big.
Oh my god.
So, but uh, yeah,
Wow.
if I saw a huntsman in my house, I would try to get it out of the house. I remember there was another video I saw on that spider where this gentleman's it's on the ceiling and he's trying to get a bowl and he's
Oh, yeah.
and his kid is videotaping the whole thing and he's slowly getting the bowl to it and he gets it up and he goes boom like that and of course it jumped out of the bowl And he drops the ball and he runs and the camera's dropped on the farm. You hear him screaming, leaving there. And there's a spider. It was just hysterical. But they were trying to save it. They didn't want to kill it. It's a
Mm-mm.
life form.
Spiders are also so incredible. Like they're born knowing how to weave their own webs. They're so highly intelligent. Hi, Mary.
You can
Thought
drop in.
I'd come in and say hi.
Hi, you look beautiful. You're wearing my favorite color.
Oh yeah, I'm in the pink today.
Love it. And
Got a
violet.
lotus flower on too.
Mm.
Okay, I just want to come by and say hi.
Hi.
Okay, no more spider talk. Chlorophyll sounds like a what to me? Oh. Anyway, it's a great film, and if you're not doing anything better tonight, which you probably are, I would highly recommend watching the film because
Okay.
it really spoke to me, and it has everything to do with what we're experiencing and talking about.
Mm. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not just about Adam Sandler and a spider alien in space. It's much more than that.
I'm curious, do you I'm not familiar with a species of ETs that are spiders. Are you?
Not
Spiders
yet.
are things?
I
Yeah.
would imagine everything that you can imagine is possible out there.
Yeah,
It's
for
out
sure.
there. It
Yeah.
has happened or is happening or it will eventually happen or has happened before. So, wow. What a great hour.
I can't believe it's already been an hour.
I know.
Well, that's what happens, right? You drop into these quantum realms with our like-minded, like-hearted souls, and then like a whole day has passed, and you're like, what happened?
Yeah, well, you'll be doing that pretty soon. And what's it called again? Disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
And who's putting that on?
Adrian Valero puts it on, but it's put on by the Disclosure Fest Foundation, which is a nonprofit. And it's twice a year, and it's workshops and teachings and music. And it's
Oh,
just,
wow.
it's our community that just gathers to
Wow.
activate.
So this is not a big corporation like Alien Con and stuff, yeah.
No, very grassroots. And Adrian is a saint. He really walks the walk, and he does this all out of love. It's not
Right.
definitely not making him money. So I really admire him and what he
Yeah.
does.
I prefer those venues, and I know the one that's happening in Santa Paula at the Glen Tavern, and is also a very small venue, and being they're just trying to sell enough tickets to pay for the rental of using the tavern and everything. So they just want to get people together and
Mm,
talk about this stuff. So
and it's going to be happening more and more. Like whether
yeah,
there's like it or not, this is unavoidable. It's
well, that's it. In closing, we should say that it is unavoidable, and for the people who are not ready for it, you have time to get ready for it, and there's really nothing to get ready for. You've been in the midst of a huge universe full teeming with life that long ago discovered this place, as we are discovering worlds ourselves right now, and you're not alone,
Mhm.
and it's part of your reality and always has been. You just didn't know it,
Right.
but now you do,
Now you do.
and it's a beautiful thing. So
It is. Yeah.
all right.
Love prevails, I believe. Always prevails.
Thank you so much for coming on.
For having me, and thank you everyone for tuning in. I encourage you, keep in touch with me, follow me, message me. I want to stay in touch. So thank you so much. Much love.
Yes, and in fact, in the description for the show tonight, I put in all of your links
Awesome.
to the live show, so that if they want to get in touch with you, everything they need to know is there, and then some. So
Amazing.
all right, and thank all of you for the support tonight. God, I love you, and I really appreciate it so much. We're working so hard to keep this going, and it's doing more than that. It's growing every day, and it's because of you. It's because of all of you out there that are supporting it, and they have become part, not just supporting it, you've become part of this community, and we're very grateful. So, and we'll see you again at the pre-premiere before part 2 of Joe Stillwell's amazing encounter. And in this encounter, this is the second encounter we're going into where he actually sees this being, and he calls it a creature, and it has black eyes, but that's about where it stops, because I've never seen anything described like this before. And he did a sculpture, and he's not an artist, and he did this amazing life-size sculpture of the head of this being.
Wow.
And you get to see that in part 2, and then there's going to be a part 3, and there might even be a part 4, because we filmed him for 2 hours, and it's a lot of material. So, but that's tomorrow night, and we'll see you in the pre-premiere chat, and we talk more about this stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Much
you,
love
Sophia.
to you and Mary. I love you both. Thank you.
Thank you. Love your work. Thank you so much for doing it.
I'm releasing a new song every week, every Friday.
Okay. All right. And subscribe to her channel. All right.
Check it out.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.